Yishem Adonai Baruch Matav Adolam, Laws of Shabbat, Siman 246. This class is sponsored by the Muckleston family, Yehuda and Sophia, for safekeeping of all the Israeli soldiers. May Hashem bring them back home safely, and the hostages. God bless you all. And we've learned on Siman 244 last time about working on Shabbat, works on Shabbat, when your partner is a non-Jew, or you have a worker or a maid, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. We're going to talk a little bit today about very interesting topics. Renting to a non-Jew over Shabbat, and then Be'ezrat Hashem embarking on a ship on Friday, cruises and stuff like that. If it's permitted when the ship sails on Shabbat and you're there, you're on it. So, as mentioned above, like what we said last time, the ruling of the Shulchan Aruch is that a Jew is not obligated to see to it that his property ceases from melacha on Shabbat. Right? Why? What's the reason? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyo bidvaro. Oh, Shar Koach, Cohen brothers. Andrew? Wow. All the way to the top. It means abundant. It means shefa. It means bracha.
Top shelf.
You know, when you just mentioned that you're all the way to the top, there's a custom in Havdalah to fill up the cup all the way to the top. And whatever spilled on the small plate that you have on the table, some of the Kabbalistic, what they do, it will sound maybe a little bit strange, but what they do, they take from it and they put on the forehead, they put here, you saw that? They put in their pockets. So, it's permitted, by the way, only on Motzei Shabbos, Saturday night. Any other time, we're not supposed to fill it up all the way to the top because it's a waste. Okay, it's called Bal Tashchis. But on Saturday night, what we do, it's Havdalah, and we're blessing the entire week, and it symbolizes abundance. Okay, Shefa. So people want to have bracha, like in the pockets, and you know where I'm going with this, okay? Anyways, it says that in regards to property, you don't have to cease from any work on Shabbat. It's not the prohibition that we have in the Torah. Therefore, a Jew may lend or rent his tools or other possessions, even work tools such as a plow, to a non-Jew, even if he is sure that a non-Jew will perform acts of melacha with them on Shabbat. The only restriction is that the Jew must give the tools to a non-Jew before the onset on Shabbat, before the sunset, so that the non-Jew can remove them from the Jew's premises before Shabbat begins. If a non-Jew will remove them after Shabbat begins, let's say in the middle of the Kiddush, and then he comes and says, take your drill, and whatever item he wants, how is it going to look to the onlooker or guest that you have in the house? It will look like, the onlooker might suspect that the Jew told the non-Jew to take them from his house on Shabbat. This is not something we permitted to do on Shabbat itself. But before Shabbat, if they're taking it before Shabbat, it's no problems at all.
Rabbi, you used the word lend. What about the word rent?
Did I use the word?
You said he could lend his tool.
Same, rent.
You said lend.
Same.
And you rent means you're making money off it.
Same.
You can make money off it.
Yeah, but hold on. Yeah. There's partners. We see it in a taxi. Hold on, people sharing taxi and stuff like that. So, what needs to settle on Shabbat? You, a servant, yada yada yada, and also the animals. If you have, a horse that you want to rent, ox. The Torah commanded us not to use, our livestock to perform acts of melacha on Shabbat. As mentioned above in Siman 245, if a Jew rents his beast to a non-Jew for a full week or more, and even if he is paid the rent in lump sum, remember, if the animal needs to rest, why the animal works for you, making money on Shabbat? So he still must make sure that the beast is not forced to perform melacha on Shabbat. Therefore, if a Jew rents beast of burden to a non-Jew, he must stipulate that the animal is not to be returned before Shabbat begins. So what do you do if they are using it on Shabbat? They're not going to return it. They're bringing it on Sunday, Monday, Saturday night. They will use it on Shabbat, or they might use it on Shabbat. If the non-Jew breaches his contract and does not return the animal, the Jewish owner should, under his breath, re-announce his ownership, meaning declare hefker. You know what hefker means? You heard the word hefker before? Okay, give me another word for hefker. Ownerless. Make sense?
What's that?
Ownerless. Hefker means, let's say I own this, soda can. And it says now it's hefker. Hefker means it's ownerless. Meaning, nobody owns it. Ownerless. What does that mean? Who can take it? Anyone. Sure. So when I say that, I declare, the animal, the horse, I see, let's say we're supposed to bring him back Friday, 2 o'clock. It didn't show up. Close to Shabbat, I said, the animal is ownerless, hefker. Meaning, if the animal will be used on Shabbat, it's mine? No. It's not mine. But hold on. You like the trick, huh? But hold on. What if you say, ownerless? So I can have it. I'll keep it. The non-Jew will keep it. You lost a horse worth, $5,000.
So he has to contact, are you telling me he would have to contact the person to say?
So there's a good point. You don't have to. You said yourself, but you're on Hashem. Yeah, there's meaning for the words that are coming out of your mouth. Remember what we said always, the intention and the word that comes out really matters? Hashem, hear your words. You made a declaration.
Yeah.
We have,
It's
the power of speech. Yeah. Between Hashem, it's not mine. If he uses it, he uses in hefker. When he comes back and give it back to me, so I say, you get back? This is for me? Thank you. What do you mean it's for you? You're joking. It's mine. If a non-Jew breaches his contract, and Shalom Aleichem, Savta Esther, how are you? And does not return to the animal, the Jewish owner should, under his breath, which means quietly, right? Re-announce the ownership declare hefker, the animal before Shabbat begins. Alternatively, he can declare this animal is now the property of the non-Jew who is holding it. With either declaration, the Jew avoids transgressing the prohibition of having his animal do work on Shabbat. When the non-Jew finally does return the animal, the Jew may take it back, and he does not have to reveal to the non-Jew that he had renounced his ownership, renounced his ownership of it. Renounce. Ownership of it.
It sounds like you're telling how you put one on a non-Jew. Well, what if the Jew says, I want to rent it out for the week, and I get $1,000 per week rather than only $900 for 6 days, so I rent it And then, Friday, I'll renounce it, I'll get it back Sunday.
Bring it back Sunday.
I mean, it sounds like there's potential for fraud there.
This is what, these kind of laws we're not sharing with other than the Jewish community.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I tell you, there's many halachot like that, that the better that they don't know, because they can take advantage of it.
Rabbi,
Like when Talmai, the king, forced the Jews to translate the Torah to Latin, the Septuagint. Yeah, it's called the Septuagint. Okay, it's called in Hebrew the Targum Hashivim, the translation of the 70.
Yeah,
Septuagint. And the Torah before that was accessible only for Jews. Now they translated to Latin. In many places it really lost its meaning. And now everybody, it's out there, everybody can interpret the Torah the way he likes, the way he wants, with no leadership, no rabbi to guide them. And what happened out of it after that was a disaster.
Without oral Torah.
Huh?
Without the oral Torah.
Without the oral Torah? What do you mean?
Because they don't
Without the oral Torah, right.
Yeah, they don't believe it.
Right.
Most of them anyway.
Right? And remember, the Torah is just a bundle of titles. Keep the Shabbat. How to keep Shabbat? Nothing, no info. What if I break Shabbat? Subject to a death penalty, no less than that. Meaning you have to have the oral Torah with it.
Yeah.
So it was a big mess, and the Talmud speaks about it was 3 days of darkness after that. The Sidra Acha, a lot of things on that level. Okay? So
Also I have a question.
we're not supposed to share this kind of info. For example, I'll give you another idea that it's not good to share. Remember we learned the laws of Purim.
Yeah.
Okay? So one of the halachot is if someone has a lawsuit, it needs to appear in the court. So the best time for a Jew to go is Adar. Okay, if you have anything before, just postpone it. Wait. Adar comes, the mazal, the good fortune of a Jew opens. You have a very strong, high percentage that you win the case. So if the non-Jew will know it, right, they will take you to court before or after. You don't take it lightly. Like even Haman knew that. So he played with the months to know which month will be a disaster for Israel. And he figured they had a great leader. Who is the Jewish Rabbi? Moshe Rabbeinu. So I'm going to pick up the day that he died. It's a fortunate date. And it was a bad mazal for the Jewish people. So he chose the 7th of Adar to draw the lottery and all that. What happened? The one little detail he didn't know, that Moshe Rabbeinu died on that day, but the same day he was born. Okay, so it was a great mazal to the people of Israel. So he knew only part of this. Okay. All right. I'm going to skip this halachot. Let's just one more. If a Jewish residing joining in a country west of the land of Israel owns animals in the land of Israel, he may rent those animals to a non-Jew to use them after Shabbat in the land of Israel. Okay? Nonetheless, that it's still Shabbat outside of Israel. Okay, when it's not already Shabbat. Another idea about that, if a non-Jew ruler comes to a Jew and tell him that he wishes to use the Jew's work animal on Shabbat. This guy is a non-Jew, is in a high position, and the Jew is in trouble a little bit. Right? What is he going to tell him? He's going to teach him the laws of Shabbat. Siman 246 says, no, in my Shulchan Aruch it says, actually, it's going to look at you like, you're playing games with me. He can bring, God forbid, disaster over the community. He came to you, he likes, your horse, you want to ride on Shabbat, now give him excuses, you don't want to give him. So what do? All right? Okay, let me put everybody in. I don't understand the language is in Philippines, but let me see. Put yourself in mute, Ron.
Okay.
Okay. So, the halacha says they are following if a non-Jewish ruler comes to a Jew and tells him that he wishes to use the Jew's work animal on Shabbat. And the Jews realize that if he refuses, the ruler is liable to take costly revenge. Some poskim ruled that the Jew may declare before Shabbat that the animal is the property of the non-Jew. And this will save him from the prohibition of having an animal perform melacha on Shabbat. Others poskim disagree. So disagreed between the poskim. It sounds like a good method. But it's yours. You can have it. Write it. You have it. It's yours for the whole Shabbat. By saying that even to him, which he doesn't have to, he can say it between themselves. So he, save himself from transgressing the laws of Shabbat.
It's a good thing to know if you have a lot of animals and get a lot of visitors.
Yeah.
They have a farm.
Tov. There's a lot of halachot. I don't want to deal too much, just so you get the idea, because we're not really having have cows and horses and all that, but you got the idea.
If they return that animal during Shabbat to that person, what?
If he wants to return it on his own, he can just return it and bring it back. There's no problem. I don't do anything. You bring it. Yeah, I don't bring anything. Okay. Now, what if I want to rent a house? Right? We discussed that, right? When I rent a house, and I know that in the house I'm renting, non-Jew will come and break the Shabbat. Obviously not a problem, it's not my problem. He allowed to break the Shabbat. He's not supposed to keep Shabbat. But what if a Jew wants to rent, and I know he's secular, and he's using a car maybe. A car is not my concern. I'm giving him an apartment. And you're going to turn the light on and off, cook on Shabbat, maybe party on Shabbat, using my property to desecrate the Shabbat. And I'm making money out of it. He's paying me monthly. Should I start to investigate every person, if he's a Shomer Shabbos or not, if he's a secular or not, and what's the level, and which shul he's attending to, and which community he belongs, or just give it to him. If he wants to break Shabbat, it's on him. But it's your property. Should I at least ask him if he's Shomer Shabbos and decide upon that or not? No? Everybody agree? The halacha says that one may rent a house whether on monthly basis or on the basis of key money to a Jew who is known to desecrate the Shabbat. This is true, although it is obvious that he will bake, cook, and turn the electricity on and off on the Shabbat, just as he does on weekdays. Even so, it is proper that one stipulate in the lease contract, when first renting the premises to him, that the lease will avoid desecrating the Shabbat in view of others. If one wishes to rent a store in Jewish neighborhood to a non-observant Jew, and the lease plans to open the store, the leasee, right? This guy plans to open the store even on Shabbat and cause other Jews to come and make purchase on Shabbat, one must avoid renting to him. There's one thing that you are renting and desecrating the Shabbat by yourself, but now you're causing other people to sin. So, one second. Under no circumstances should one rely on the leniencies of certain poskim regarding this. This is the ruling of Chacham Ovadia Yosef.
Rabbi, some of the biggest malls in this country are owned by Jews. They rent the stores to Jews who own smaller companies, and they're certainly open on Shabbat.
I agree with you, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Some poskim lenient about it, by the way. Chacham Ovadia Yosef is a poskim for the Sephardim.
No, they're supposed to forfeit, if you will, make clear hefter the revenue commensurate to the 7
Hold on,
days?
it's not so simple, because some malls are owned in partnership with Jews and non-Jews together. If you know that it's owned solely by a Jew, it's a big problem, because why poskim are lenient here? Because they know that you as a Jew, if you have a kiosk there, you would use the service of a non-Jew. So it's okay for a Jew to rent to a non-Jew on Shabbat. We've learned that already, right? So it says, if you make sure that the one who rent your kiosk on Shabbat is a non-Jew, even the owner Jew can get benefit from it. Okay. Obviously, I told you it's more complicated than that. We're just learning the idea of these halachot. Obviously, on each case, we need to check it individually. Let me just finish that. Listen to this. It goes without saying that one may rent a home to a non-Jew even though the non-Jew will do as he please in the home. It is necessary to remove the mezuzot from the house doorways in this case. In our times, in the land of Israel, it is improper to rent an apartment to any non-Jew, even a Muslim, because of the potential problems this will cause to other residents of the building. What does that mean? Removing the mezuzot, in the past, we noticed that people don't know what it is and they're throwing it, they're trashing it. We say, what is this box? Oh, it's an alarm. Alarm system. I don't need an alarm system. I have my own. Boom, they're trashing it. They want to paint or whatever they do. They don't know. And in Eretz Israel, the Holy Land, when we want to have as many Jews versus as Chas v'Shalom enemies, we have non-Jews that are very big friends of us, right? Friends with the Jewish people. Many of them serve the Israeli army. This is not a problem. The problem is when you are renting in a building, and not everybody are comfortable with that. So it's better to ask to make sure that you're not causing anyone problems in the building by bringing someone from a different. It's a little bit racist, the halacha, but it is what it is. It's recommended. Okay. Let me say questions.
Yeah. So.
I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. In Haifa, I went there, many Jews and non-Jews living together. Some of them in very nice, beautiful harmony. I experienced that. I saw it with my own eyes. I went one of the days to the north to go to the Tzaddikim, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Meir, and all that. So we passed by Haifa because one of my family members wanted to buy an apartment as an investment. So he wanted me to stop by Haifa. So we see a very old building, many of the buildings over there, and the price was so cheap for the apartment. I mean, relative. If you know numbers, it was like around 350,000 shekels. Okay, around $100,000. Very nice, 3 bedrooms. In Israel, it's unheard of. So he said, I have to see this deal. So he's talking with the real estate agent. By the way, you can find the same prices today as we speak, around that number. So I said to him, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. I said, well, it is. I don't think he's lying to me. Bottom line, we went there. And it turns out that everyone else there are non-Jews, Arabs, Muslims live in that building. So no one wants to buy. Yeah. No one wants to buy. Who buys? Only Muslims. Mm-hmm. Okay? And he started with the first one that sold his house to that family. And years later, they buy more and more and more because people left. People left and finished. The old building now is occupied by Muslims, and other Jews didn't feel comfortable to be with them. Okay, so that was the reason that was that cheap. So, like what we learned in the Halacha, we have a mitzvah in the land of Israel to occupy and to settle It says vehitnachaltem. Nachaltem, it's a mitzvah to settle, to be a settler. The progressive make it as a bad word. The settlers. The settling in the land of Israel, mitnachel or itnachalut, it's a mitzvah. It's the land that Hashem gave Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to us. Okay? Not to share with anyone else. Okay. It's a wide topic. Obviously, a non-Jew can live in the land of Israel if they consider Ger Toshav. Ger Toshav, meaning the keeping the 7 universal laws. We mentioned that on Shabbat. They're keeping the 7 universal laws, they're righteous, they can live there, it's all good. Yes?
Can they actually buy real estate? I'm curious, can they legally buy real estate in Israel?
Who?
Non-Jews. Can they buy
Yeah, of course. They can buy, they can rent. They have equal rights. Equal.
Okay.
They can do anything, whatever. Non-Jew in Israel have equal laws. This is halacha within the Jewish. Some poskim says, okay, I don't want to go into it because it's not our topic. Okay, next one is, if one wishes to purchase an office building and some of the offices are rented out to non-observant Jews who come to work on Shabbat, one may purchase the building despite this, and may ignore the fact that these tenants are desecrating the Shabbat until their lease are expired. This is not considered a transgression of the prohibition, of placing stumbling block in front of the blind. You understand the concept why it's called lifnei iver? Okay. If the tenant wishes to continue renting those offices for another year or years, but they refuse to abstain from desecrating the Shabbat, one is not obligated to force them to leave if that will cause a considerable loss. Okay. The best ultimate would be ultimately that everybody observant, Shabbat be closed, we go home. But it's not always like that.
You know, it's a question. I'm curious, particularly in Israel where it's warm in summer, that in America, for example, in our office building, the standard air conditioning is provided during normal business hours, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Okay. You want Saturday air conditioning, then you have to make arrangements and pay extra for it. Okay. That's no problem. It's America. Yeah, you do.
What do you mean?
In the office building, big office building.
But in America?
Yeah, absolutely.
They even know.
Hold on. Let's say it again.
Right,
If you want to work on the weekends,
Monday through Friday from say 7 in the morning till 10 at night.
Regular business hours.
Regular business hours.
The building is probably, you get air conditioning service, heating and cooling.
Okay.
On the weekends, on Saturday, or Sunday, whatever, and they mainly just heat because they have heat in Texas. You want air conditioning. Your people come in and work, you got to make arrangements with them, and they bill you out $100 an hour or something for the air conditioning, whatever the rate is.
So they have a system to monitor that.
I'm sure they have that in Israel. Israel's climate is very hot in summer.
Never heard of something like that.
Really? Oh, I'm sure.
Never. Maybe.
Yeah.
My question would be: you're the owner of this office building, right? You provide normal business services. Now it's Shabbos. Now this tenant says, okay. My normal air conditioning shuts off Friday night. If I want that to continue, can you rent? In other words, I'm hearing you can rent. Momish, they have to make specific. I want air conditioning on Shabbos to be turned on. You can.
I have no idea. I don't know. I never heard such situation like that.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
You heard about something like that? I didn't know.
No,
Wow.
all the major businesses are closed on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday.
Because in Israel, you pay for the electricity at your office. It's not included. It's not included. You have a own special monitor. What do you call this?
Thermostat.
No.
Not thermostat.
The
Meter. Special meter. You can use as much as you use. It will bill you.
But that's if the rent is triple net, which basically you take care of everything except you take care of everything.
No, in Israel you have your own meter.
Okay, see that's over here.
Right. I think only water, because it's at the Every floor is only water for the restroom and.
It depends on
But the electricity, you have your own meter. As much as you use. Okay, next topic. The next few minutes. We have like 15 minutes. Embarking on a ship on Friday.
like on a trial.
On a ship. And anybody has any plans to go for a cruise or anything like that? No.
Next year sometime.
One of those coastal Alaskan cruises, maybe.
There is. I heard there is a company called Costa Rica.
They have, like, to Alaska or something, in August.
7 days, 10 days. You know, many Jews go to a cruise on Passover.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They have. I was offered to go as a Rabbi that arranged a whole cruise, and the guy that told me that, it's a lady, came to me and says that I didn't even understand what she wants at the beginning. Cruise on Passover, what does that mean? I know hotel and so I said, okay, let me investigate a little bit. I don't say no, I don't say yes. And they say we're going to take care of you. You'll have a free. Well, you're the kids. They don't pay you for it, but you get a free 10 days or whatever it is for your kids with the room. How many kids? I told them back then we have 6. They say, oh, 6 kids. Okay. So I said, I'll get back with you. By the time I get back with you, it was taken by someone. It was taken by someone else. But it could be probably. It's a great experience. But a cruise on. Yeah, it's kosher and everything. I have to run the 2 Seder and help with the tefillot, just to arrange, not to necessarily, they have it on Chazan, huh? And that's it. Rabbi Lashak told me that he said, thank God that you didn't go. I said, why? He says he was there, it was not there, it was on resort, on a hotel. He told me it's a disaster. He said you're trying to speak loud and people making noise and kids, and you have a mix of Orthodox and Reform and Conservative. They have different agada and they ask you questions and say, what does that mean? But it's not my custom and this custom. And they want to finish. Some want to finish quickly. Someone says he suffered for 2 days. He's never going to do it again. No, it's not. He said it doesn't worth it. When I find pay
I guess there has to be a disclaimer. This is the custom when we're practicing. Okay, you guys gotta...
Okay, embarking on a ship on Friday. Back in the days, a ship was a very common tool or vehicle to use. People would sail much more than people are doing today. No airplanes, so you want to go from one place to another, far away, you have to use a ship. Our sages institute a halacha that one may not embark on a journey on a ship during the last 3 weekdays of the week.
So Wednesday, Thursday.
So you go for a journey, let's say 10 days, you can't go on Wednesday, right? You have to go earlier, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What's their problem?
They don't ship it. They usually leave on.
What's the reason? No, they ship in different days. But in general, not.
What would be the reason why you have to leave Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Huh?
You're asking why would you have to leave Sunday?
Okay, so why? What's the reason? I mean, it sounds, we're going to see the halacha, but it sounds like it's okay, even if you go 20 days, but as long as you start your journey on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What's wrong with Wednesday or Thursday? Shabbat is right around the corner, so what? Ma?
He says you remember Shabbat the first 3 days and you prepare for Shabbat from Wednesday on.
Prepare for Shabbat. They prepare everything for me there. We're going to have a beautiful table of Shabbat. Yeah. There's some sheep that they have their own section with the kosher section and kosher kitchen. They're going to take care of everything. I'm not starting my journey, the sail on Shabbat, starting before. But Wednesday problem, Thursday problem. You can't start that day. What's the problem? You'll be surprised when you hear the reason.
I need to make my salads. I need to start on Tuesday.
Okay, so listen. Several different reasons have been offered for this restriction. Rabbeinu Yitzchak Alfasi wrote that the reason is that the traveler is likely to become seasick during the first 3 days of his cruise, and thus he renders himself incapable of fulfilling the mitzvah of Oneg Shabbos. Oneg Shabbos is to have pleasure on Shabbat, to enjoy Shabbat, to be happy.
So just in case
If it's within these 3 days, you're going to feel sick, and this is not Shabbat. You see how Oneg Shabbat is so important?
Yeah. So what if you...
Hold on, let me finish it. On Shabbat. If he begins the trip earlier in the week, however, he most likely will overcome his seasickness by Shabbat, and he will be able to enjoy it as usual. Now, I can understand with the old ships.
Yeah.
Today, the ships are very stable. You won't feel anything, no first day, no second day, nothing. So this halacha still apply to us today? Food for thought. We'll get to it. All of these applies if one is traveling for personal, mundane reasons. When traveling for the sake of fulfilling a mitzvah, however, one may embark on a trip even on Friday, 1 minute before Shabbat. Okay?
Really?
For the sake of a mitzvah, it's okay. Now, tough. We're going to continue Be'ezrat Hashem this topic next time. Any questions? So next Tuesday Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll talk about Siman 248, embarking on a ship on Friday. Very interesting topic. The participant might getting a ticket, used ticket of a cruise. It's a used one, so don't get too excited. Yes.
So when you were talking about the renting, to reverse the roles is something like I might possibly be dealing with, but would you as a renter, do you need to rent a home from a Jew, or it doesn't matter who you rent your home from? If you're on this, if it was
Me as a Jew, if I can rent from a non-Jew,
right.
No problem.
Yeah, if you're going to get a house, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
No.
But we talked about the other things, though. You said if you did get a home, you would need to paint the walls.
Oh, this is on a Kabbalistic level. It's not halacha, it's highly recommended. Highly recommended. Not only that, when you rent a house, you need to check who lived there before you.
Right.
Meaning, if it's a frum family, Orthodox, you don't have to kosher the refrigerator, sink, whatever. If it's not, or a non-Jew, you have to kosher all vessels, everything. It's also caused a problem, by the way, those people that have Airbnb business. Okay, you want to now rent it for a Jew, they have to go there and kosher it for them. So,
Can I add something to that? Because if you can't, like, let's say for example, I'm renting you a place. I rent you a place. I can't tell you who lived there before. It's against
right,
privacy laws.
No, it's not privacy law. It's discrimination. As a real estate agent, I can't say, hey, these people lived here before. Who are they? I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not something that I'm allowed to say.
Yeah.
only if it was a murder, God forbid, or
something
death.
Something like that happened. Yes.
Something
but
traumatic.
if it's something traumatic. But the thing is that if you ask those kind of questions, and I have been asked those kind of questions, I can't answer.
We can't say.
So
I don't know who I'm talking to about it.
So even at the end of the day, that's why you would say to paint the wall, because you wouldn't know.
I would say
You wouldn't know.
Why we said you need to paint the wall? Why?
Because of the spirit.
Right? Your actions brings either good energy or bad energy, let's put it that way. So, regardless of who they, you don't know what they did, even if they were Orthodox family. It's highly recommended to paint these walls.
So what about, so then.
And this could be costly.
What about hotels?
No.
So is there a specific, either a kosher hotel, or you wouldn't be able to?
Okay, it's a temporary house, there's no problem. But the place that you need to really dwell there and live there for a long time, We're talking about a year or more. You know, it's a different story. Here you go, a day, night here, night there. It's nonetheless, people that have a high neshama, let's say at a high spiritual level, they will sense there's something wrong with this room or this place, and they will ask to move or won't feel comfortable. They won't probably sleep in that place. It happens all the time. People go there and say, I don't know what's going on in this room. I have to change the room. It's a beautiful view. You can see, I can't be here. Your neshama sense something that happens in that place, you don't want to be there. So if you feel something like that, it's a good thing, by the way, in a way. Any more questions? If you want to rent any apartment or house selling, please contact Yosef. He is...
That's a guy. So I do have a question. So if we want to travel on a Friday. Only if we're going to do a mitzvah, it's good to travel on Friday, right? Because otherwise, you're not supposed to travel on Friday.
Right. But we ask another question. What about the fancy and special ship that we have today? Mm-hmm. They cost like $1 billion to build one, and they made it in a way that people feel comfortable, not sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is this halacha applied to it? We'll see.
Is that the only reason why?
That's the main reason. It's the main reason. There's other reasons. For example, who is the captain? Is he Jewish or not Jewish? Who people work there? Jewish, not, because they're breaking the Shabbat while sailing. So can you be part of it or not? What is better for a Jew? That the captain and those who work there are Jews or non-Jews?
Non-Jews.
Non-Jews, right? Okay, so we'll see more into it. What if, God forbid, something will happen and they ask for your help?
But there's a co-captain.
So, Shavua Tov. Thank you.